Hi friends, in this video we'll talk about 5 questions related to the water pollution. Okay, so all these questions are asked in 2023 June and December examination. So the first question here, arrange the following in increasing order of DTD concentration among them as a result of bioaccumulation or accumulation. So we have already seen in the previous video what is bioaccumulation. So bioaccumulation is nothing but some chemicals get accumulated in the organism's body. So this DTD is actually an insecticide. Okay, it's a type of chemical insecticide which is used in agriculture fields, but due to water runoff it gets dissolved, it gets mixed with the water body, and it is least soluble in water actually. So first it goes into a water body, then from the water body it has been absorbed by zooplanktons. Okay, zooplankton are the small amount of small we can say it's type of food which is available for the fishes. So the zooplanktons are eaten by the fish, small fishes, and small fish is eaten by the big fish, and which is in turn eaten by fish eating birds. So if you see the accumulation process in the increasing order, the first comes the water body, followed by the zooplanktons and the fish, and the fourth one being the fish eating water bodies. So it will be B, D, A and C, which is option number 2. So the answer is option 2. Okay, moving on to the second question. When a water body gets enriched with nutrients, the process is called dash. See, when the water body gets enriched with nutrients, it's nothing but it's a type of pollution. You know how it is a pollution? Let's say that some amount of nutrients is added in the agriculture field. Due to water runoff, it gets added in a water body. Okay, so this nutrients will be available more in the water. When it is available more in the water, it will result in the algal bloom. Okay, algal bloom and other types of any other invasive plant species or normal plant species which are grown in water. Now, due to enrichment of algal bloom, what will happen? Oxygen, more amount of oxygen is needed for those algal blooms or any other plants which is growing in the water body. And as a result, the other aquatic animals, be it a fish or any other type of aquatic animals, they will get less amount of oxygen. Okay, that's why it is a type of pollution. So when a water body gets enriched with nutrients, this process is called as eutrophication. Okay, so moving on to the next 3 items. Let's see what are the other 3 items here. The first one we have oligotrophication. So we can call it as a reverse of eutrophication, wherein the nutrient depletion is happening here. Nutrients is reducing here. Nutrient depletion is happening. Okay, so it means the nutrients are becoming less. So that is oligotrophication. The next one is meso. So the term meso means something middle. So meso is the middle form between oligotrophication and eutrophication. So if you see, eutrophication is the extreme end wherein there will be higher amount of nutrients, whereas oligotrophication is the other extreme end where will be nutrient reduction. So in between both the items we have the mesotrophication. Mesotrophication, which is the middle term here, middle level of productivity, middle level of nutrients which are happening in the particular area. Now coming to the fourth one here, the fourth one here is dystrophication. Okay, it is not, it is occasionally used to refer the process of eutrophication. Okay, it is like a state. It is like a state of matter where you will have high organic content in the water body. Okay, so that will result in high acidicity and water will become, there will be a change in the water. Okay, it is nothing but a process of eutrophication wherein the water body gets very much polluted in the end. So that process or that state of water body is called as dystrophication. Okay, so the answer for here is the eutrophication. Okay, moving on to the next question. What is a full form of CBOD? CBOD. Okay, now let's see what is BOD. BOD is a biochemical oxygen demand. So normally biochemical oxygen demand is nothing but how much oxygen, the name itself says biochemical oxygen demand. Oxygen is demanded. How much oxygen is demanded? So by whom? By biochemical, which means any organism which uses or oxygen. Okay, so how much demand it has been doing? What is the demand of the oxygen demand by the organisms? So that is biochemical oxygen demand. So typically the organisms what we are talking about is the microorganisms which feed upon the organic matter. Okay, so what the microorganisms like bacteria or other type of microorganisms they will do, they will feed upon the organic matter they will decompose the organic matter, right? So for the process of decomposition, they need oxygen. So that oxygen demand is called as a biochemical oxygen demand. Now the question is CBOD. What is the C here? The C here is called as the carbonaceous biochemical oxygen demand. Okay, let's understand the term first, carbonaceous. So carbonaceous means any material which has higher concentration of carbon in it. Any material which has a higher concentration of carbon is called carbonaceous. For example, when we take any natural sources, we have the coal. Okay, coal is a higher component of carbon. Similarly, when you take the higher area, fancier form, we have diamonds. Diamond is also something which consists of higher carbon items, right? And similarly, any other fossil fuel, be it a natural gas or be it any petroleum, it consists of more amount of carbon in that. Okay, so the carbonaceous materials are those materials which has higher amount of carbon in it. Now the question is, what do you mean by the carbonaceous biochemical oxygen demand? See, carbonaceous biochemical oxygen demand, we can understand it by a simple example. Let's say that there is a river. Okay, the river is polluted with dead leaves, and there are dead, the parts of the trees are laid down here. Leaves are there, flowers are there, seeds are there, and even the sticks and small sticks are lying around in the water. Now what will happen when any microorganism which feeds upon these organic matter, they will demand oxygen, right? And especially the leaves or the twigs what we have or the sticks what we have, they consist of higher amount of carbon. Now what will happen when this microorganism feed upon those particular those particular food items, be it leaves or the twigs, they use more amount of oxygen. So this oxygen demand, which is used by the microorganism to decompose any carbon based material, is called as the carbonaceous biochemical oxygen demand. Okay. Moving on to the next question, which is considered to be the continuation of this one, which is called as the NBOD. We know what is BOD. Now what is the N here? Earlier we have seen C, which is carbonaceous. Similarly, what is N? N is the nitrogenous. So N is related to nitrogen. So here if you see, nitrogenous biochemical oxygen demand means any nitrogen containing organic material. Okay, any nitrogen containing organic material which is decomposed by the microorganism, they need oxygen for that, and the demand of that oxygen is called as the nitrogenous biochemical oxygen demand. Okay, and if you see, nitrogen is essential for any plant or maybe any algae also, but it has to be only for a certain limit. If it goes beyond limit, it is very harmful to the environment as well as for the organisms. Okay, so NBOD is a measure of the amount of oxygen what these nitrogen using microorganisms needed. Okay, so if you see the entire pond, so biochemical oxygen demand is the total demand what is needed by the microorganism, in which a small part is the CBOD. Okay, which uses carbon, which the oxygen which is used up for eating the carbon based material, and the other one is NBOD, which is needed for a nitrogen based material. Okay, yes, moving on to the last question for today's video, the leachites. What are leachites? So leachites are nothing but they are contaminated liquid drains from the liquid draining from landfills. Okay, consider an example. Let's say that you have a dustbin or any trash bag. Okay, some rainwater is pouring. Now what will happen when the rainwater goes into the trash bag or the dustbin? It mixes with the already available dust or the trash in that. So now what will happen? The pure rainwater will become black in color and smelly in nature, black and smelly in nature. So that water, this contaminated water, is called as a leachates. So leachates are nothing but the contaminated water. The process where the water gets dissolved, the pure water or any other water gets dissolved with the trash or any other pollutants, is called as the leaching. So that process is called leaching. Okay, so that's it for today's video. So please subscribe to Renu and Ram Academy. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.